This is not a question of left or right. It's a question of whether we're facing the country. We have changed as a party, but we've not made a strong enough case to the country. We've lost that connection, that trust, and I intend to rebuild that and do whatever is necessary to rebuild that trust.
But what does change mean in, say, policy terms?
It means stopping as a party, quarrelling amongst ourselves, looking internally and facing the country and setting out that bold vision for a better Britain and changing the things that need changing.
What is that vision?
That is the change that I will bring about.
Len McCluskey, Unite General Secretary, says people don't know what you stand for. What is that vision?
Our vision is of a country that ends the injustice and inequality that millions of people face every day. But fundamentally, we have to show that we are facing the country, that we've learnt the lessons of this bitterly disappointing set of results.
What are you going to change over the next few days? What are you referring to?
I will set out what we need to do to reconnect the Labour Party to the voters that have cast their verdict on us last night, particularly in places like Hartlepool.
He's like a parody of himself, like a parody of a politician who believes in absolutely nothing. So we say, we're going to change. He's asked, what does change mean? Oh, we're going to stop squabbling. We're going to set out a bold vision. Well, what is that bold vision? Our vision is to face the country. We're going to face the country and stop talking about ourselves. So what are you going to do? What are you going to change? Well, I'll reconnect with the voters we lost. But how? I mean, how are you going to appeal to them? I'll look outwards instead of looking inwards, twirling all the time. I mean, it's embarrassing. She says, well, do you have any policies? Well, I'm not going to tell you my policies on the television. Why would I tell you my policies here on the television? That would be a ridiculous thing to do.
Keir Starmer has no policy, no idea, no organisational competence. And worst of all, I think, actually, we do live in an era of populism. I'm sorry for the hashtag FBPE crowd who don't want to admit that, but we are. He is so unlikable. I've said this repeatedly. Nobody watches that guy and thinks, you know what, I'm really rooting for him. And some people might not like Corbyn. A lot of people had that feeling with Jeremy Corbyn. I'm really rooting for him. Yeah, go on. At least he knows what he believes in. Nobody can say this about Keir Starmer. He's a non-entity who is so dislikable immediately. And I think the fact that he was doing that interview in what was, the aesthetics of it were just so politically distant from what was happening in Hartlepool, that dissonance between Boris Johnson and Keir Starmer embodied so much for me. And it just shows, actually, Keir Starmer, the grown-ups are back in charge. Well, you know what? A media professional wouldn't be doing that interview there. So not only is Keir Starmer not good enough, but nor are the people around him.
Anytime he, or indeed anyone else in the party, is asked, what's your vision? Very basic question, actually, for a politician. It's not a question really intended to catch people out, or it shouldn't be. He looks terrified. Our vision is to look out to the country. Our vision is to change the party. I mean, these are like subheadings. These are like subheadings of a strategy you could have, but they still haven't filled in the box. It's to be in that job for over a year and not have anything to say to that question. I just find it, difficult to fathom. It just seems like gross negligence, gross incompetence from people who are presumably on quite good salaries. I mean, I suppose maybe you can't come up with a vision if you don't believe in anything. I suppose that's probably the easiest explanation for what's going on here. They're asking Starmer, what do you believe in? He says, I believe in having values. I believe in believing things. I believe in showing the country that I believe in something. It's like, well, what do you believe? It's like, I'm not telling you that. I'm not giving that away.